Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella and today I'm going to be sharing all about my struggles with exercise addiction, how I've tried to heal from it, and some tips if any of you are also struggling with it. Personally, I feel like this is something that isn't talked about enough. Everyone is so focused on working out and being the fittest and healthiest they can be, but often we don't take into account over-exercising. We frown on people who don't exercise and really encourage those who do, or shame people if they don't exercise as much as we think they should. I'm not saying for everybody, but there are a lot of people quite vulnerable to being told that they need to work out, they need to be fit, they need to be healthy. This is something that has definitely impacted my struggles with an eating disorder, and it hasn't made my experience any easier. It's just made it worse. Firstly, I just want to share what it is and what it means to me. So, as it sounds, exercise addiction is being obsessed with exercise, feeling immense guilt if you ever miss a workout, feeling the need to always take the stairs, always go the long way, being really dependent on your exercise, if you don't exercise, not allowing yourself to eat, using exercise to burn off food or to earn food, looking at your body differently on days you don't exercise. And it can even be just as simple as just feeling really uncomfortable with the thought of not exercising. Exercise addiction isn't just black and white. There's a lot of grey in between. Lots of people do actually struggle with this, even if it is just a minor feeling of wanting to do something. But there's a difference between needing to do it and wanting to do it to feel better. Obviously, exercise is really good for you and it does release endorphins in your body, and you get outside a lot of the time, you sweat. I'm not saying it's not good for you, but depending on what mindset you are in, it can be really detrimental to your health. So that's kind of briefly what I kind of think it is about. If you want any more information, I will try and link some websites and stuff down below if you think you might have an exercise addiction and want any more resources or information about it. Now I'm going to share my journey, so I'm just going to put a trigger warning here. If you are also in ED recovery, or maybe have an eating disorder, or have exercise addiction yourself and think this will be triggering, please just skip over this. I don't want to trigger anyone. I just want to raise awareness and share my own experience. I don't want to go into too much detail because one, it is kind of personal, and two, I'm sure it's really boring. As a kid, I was always really active. I loved sports, netball, basketball. I was really into swimming. I swam competitively and absolutely loved it. When I got a bit older, maybe 10, 11, 12, my dad was really into running and he suggested that I came running with him. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of running at the time, but he convinced me to go with him, so I went once and I found it pretty fun. I thought, okay, well, I'll do it again, I guess. So I started running with my dad maybe once a week or so. Very quickly, I got very addicted to exercise, especially going for a run. I started going every day. At the time, I was still in school and I had to catch the bus, so I would wake up about 5:30 so I could go and have a really long run before and have time to catch the bus. On days when it was raining and I couldn't go for my run, I would cry and cry and cry, and the second I got home from school, I would be out running, rain or shine. If for any reason I didn't run that day, I would drastically decrease what I was already eating, my already very limited diet, because I was developing an eating disorder. On top of this, I would do exercises in my room, like little ab and leg workouts, like get a six-pack in 5 days kind of workouts. I would do those for hours. I started doing loads of those, like 200 crunches right before you go to bed, and 200 squats, and you wake up with a big butt and a skinny waist and all that kind of thing. I also played sports on top of this and would go swimming. If any of these didn't happen, I went for a shorter run, or I didn't have enough time to do my ab workout, I would have horrendous guilt. I would feel almost physically sick just the thought of not doing it. I found it so hard to go to bed because all I could think about was how lazy I was and how fat I was, that I hadn't done my workout and I was a waste of space and I was just making up excuses and I was just worthless. Exercise really ramped up my eating disorder. For me, it came on really fast. It was all fun and games, just going for a run once a week with my dad, and suddenly it was full-blown exercise addiction. But for some people it might build up slowly and you might not even realize it's happening until one day you did all this exercise but you skip one thing and you feel absolutely horrible. Or like me, it could come on really fast and you could go 0 to 100 very quickly. Like I said, they're not just black and white, there's a lot of in between and mixed grey area. So these exercise addiction can look different for everybody. I also started to really struggle with sitting down. I had to stand up at all times. I would only sit down to eat, and I would make sure I woke up at the same time and went to bed at the same time, so I had the maximum amount of standing in between. I would never sit down on the couch with my family. I would stand and hover over them. At school, I always tried to stand up. In class, I would try and stand near the back of the class and stuff, which was really weird. Nobody really said anything, but it was a weird thing to do. Even throughout my hospital stays, I stood up next to my hospital bed as much as I could. I just found any excuse to stand up. I had this weird thing in my head that standing up burned more calories than sitting down, which is an absolute lie, guys. It might burn like 0.00000000001 more calories, but it does not make a difference in your physique at all. If anything, it gives you weird veins in your legs. I know that firsthand. So you can sit down, please sit down. It's not going to change anything. I've been struggling with this for 4 or 5 years now and didn't really realize how bad it was. I know everyone always told me it was horrible, like doctors and nurses, my mum, my therapist, everyone said it was so insane and not normal, but I was adamant that no, I can exercise this much. This is a normal thing to do. Like, I need to do this. It was only these last 2-3 months that I really realized how much it was impacting my life and how I didn't want to live my life like this anymore. I have an amazing eating disorder therapist who really helped me realize this, and that was kind of when I decided to end my exercise addiction and try to heal my relationship with exercise. So, how did I do it? How the heck did I end my 4 to 5 year abusive, toxic relationship with exercise? Short answer, I went cold turkey. I know what you're thinking. That is crazy. I went from doing all this exercise to none. As a lot of you already know, I have a dog who is literally the best thing that ever happened to me. She's my favorite thing in the world, and I've been allowed to walk her. That was one of the, when I was on like strict bed rest and stuff, when I first came off it, going for walks with her was one of the things I was allowed to do. So I have pretty much since I've got her, taken her on a walk every day. And for me, that is not disordered. For some people it might be, but personally for me, I see it as getting some fresh air, getting outside, being with my dog, clearing my head, getting away from my family and everybody. So I do that. And I also do a little bit of stretching before bed, but it's just a little bit, and I just do it to loosen up and practice working on my splits, which again, completely not disordered. I'm just doing my own thing. So apart from that, I quit cold turkey on everything else. At first, it was absolutely horrendous. All I wanted to do was my exercise. I felt so lazy and weird, and like my head was screaming at me, my eating disorder was screaming, everything was really intense, and it was probably like that maybe a week of just really intense. I tried to just distract myself a lot. I did schoolwork, I watched YouTube and Netflix, I crocheted, I tidied my room, I baked, I just tried to do a lot of different things, and things that made me feel happy or just distracted me from it for a second. I also tried to sit down a lot because I knew that if I just stopped doing exercise but was still standing, I'd have to eventually beat that. So I thought, I'll just do it all now, get all the hard stuff out the way and just do it now. So I did that, and it was really, really hard for the first week or so, and I wanted to give up a lot, but I knew that I didn't want to be like this for the rest of my life. One day I wanted to be fully recovered, fully normal, fully healthy, and to do that I needed to stop my exercise. So I thought, why not just do it now? Like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be 40 and realize that I've wasted all my life doing exercise and living by these stupid rules. So I thought, enough is enough, I'm just going to do it, and then who knows, this time next year I might be fully recovered and fully healthy, but I need to put in the work now. I need to make change to see change. So when it was really tough, I just kept reminding myself this, of why I was doing it and why I wanted it. After the first week, the voice in my head did start to quieten a little. I still got those impulses and urges to exercise, but it got a lot less. I communicated a lot with my eating disorder therapist about how I was feeling, and she was really supportive, but you can always just talk to a friend or a family member about it. And now it's probably been a month, I want to say, and I've not gone back to exercise. It's honestly crazy to me. I thought I would be doing my exercises till the day I died. I never thought I could do this, let alone do this. Like, if you talked to me a month ago, there's no way I would believe that I would not be exercising. And I'm literally sitting right now. Yes, it still kind of gets to me, but it's so much easier than it was, and I'm just so unbelievably proud of myself. Okay, so here are some tips. My first tip would be opening up to anybody. Now this can be a friend, a family member, a nurse, just anybody, and kind of coming clean to them, telling them everything, how you're feeling and all that. This can really help you keep accountable and have somebody to talk to about stuff and who can check up on you. If it is a family member, that would be preferred, as they can kind of keep an eye on you and make sure you aren't doing your exercise. If you just admit it all to them, they can kind of know what's going on and stuff. If you don't have a family member, a friend, or anybody else is fine. Just maybe texting them when you have the urges. I find that just support is so helpful. Even just having someone on Instagram to DM, finding a little recovery buddy is really helpful. Secondly, writing why you want to do this. Write what your life is looking like right now and what you want your life to be like. And you'll see how different they are. Like, you don't want to be obsessed about exercise, focusing on it all day long, not being able to go to work or sit down because you just have to exercise. When you come up with these reasons, it's going to make it a lot easier to beat. When you're having super strong urges, you can come back to your list and see that this is not what you want and keep strong. I wrote down a lot of reasons I wanted to do this and a lot of reminders for future me when I was really struggling, and I found this really helpful to look back on and just read, and it really help stay committed. Number 3, like I said before, I would truly recommend quitting cold turkey, just completely giving it up and moving on. It's going to make it so much easier. Or you're just going to have to stop bit by bit by bit by bit and just really prolong the journey. I think just short and fast. Like, it's going to be really hard, but it's better than just prolonging it and being hard and hard and hard and hard. Just stopping it and facing it right then and there. It can be really scary. So if you think it's going to be easier for you to slowly stop, then that's still great progress. But personally, I feel like you just need to nip it in the bud and be done with it. 4th, like I said before, finding some good distractions. You could pick up a new hobby. I think that's a great idea to keep you entertained. Maybe a craft or learning an instrument or anything that's just going to really occupy you. Colouring and listening to music is also a great one. Or watching a Netflix program. Baking or doing puzzles is great because you keep your hands busy. Just anything that's just going to distract your mind from it and just put it away. 5 is being with people a lot, just kind of making sure you're with people, like being with your friends or your family, because when you're with them, you're not really gonna suddenly burst out and do some exercise. Like, you can be with them, you can open up to them about it, and they can help distract you and talk to you and show you that you don't need to be exercising. Like, they won't be exercising all the time, so being with them is really helpful. It can really help shift your mind and see what a healthy relationship with exercise looks like. And my last tip is to just write about it. When you're having the really intense feelings, just grabbing a journal, a piece of paper, anything, and just writing exactly, just write it all out, just word vomit on the page exactly how you're feeling. Firstly, it just really distracts you for that moment, and then when you're done, it kind of feels like a weight's been lifted off your shoulder. If you can't talk to anybody, just writing it down feels a lot better. And then just reading it back and trying to read it from a different set of eyes, just to see how ridiculous it sounds that you're so stressed and anxious because you couldn't do a little 5-minute leg workout. Like, it really helps put things into perspective, I think. Okay, so now I'm just gonna answer some questions that you guys submitted at my Instagram. It's at Daisey. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. I post there pretty much every day and I'm very active, so if you want to see more of me or chat to me, then you can find me over there. The first question is thoughts on incorporating daily yoga and nature walks in early recovery. Personally, for me, I think it very much depends on who you are. I think very early stages of recovery, no movement is definitely preferred. Just becoming comfortable and realizing that nothing bad's going to happen if you don't move. I do think getting outside is really important. So if you do want to go for a walk, maybe just going down the road and sitting on a bench for a few minutes, not going on a super long obsessive walk. It's just a few minutes and then just like sitting and being in nature, if that is truly why you want to be outside. Something for me that helped me with my exercise was thinking, how would I feel if I didn't do this exercise? If I didn't do this ab workout, how would I feel? Like, am I gonna feel really flustered and horrible and anxious? Then it's probably obsessive. If you are gonna be like, well, it's okay, I can do something else, it's all good, then it probably isn't as obsessive. Like, if you're not super concerned about not doing it. That really helped me figure out what was good and what was bad. I think everyone kind of knows in their head what is obsessive and what isn't. Like, we're all really smart. We do know ourselves. And if a daily walk for you is going to be obsessive, I think you need to take a few weeks, a month, like 2 months, just as much time resting as possible. Like, the more the better. Like, as soon as you can realize that exercise is not the be all end all, you can allow yourself to relax, you can chill, you don't have to be moving 24/7, the better. I got a lot of questions asking how I knew it was obsessive. I kind of touched on that before, but definitely just the amount I was doing and how anxious and upset I got over not doing it. Like, if I didn't go for my run, I would be in tears, I would have an anxiety attack, and I'm not being dramatic there, I definitely did. And I still have a few now just not doing exercise, but a lot of the time it's a lot less. Just taking a step back and seeing if one of your friends was doing all the exercise you're doing, how would you feel? What would you think? Would you think that they're being really healthy and fit, or would you just think that is a lot of exercise? Talking to a family member who lives with you, if they've noticed anything or if they think anything's off with you, because most of the time they would definitely pick up on your exercise habits. But again, I think you will know. I think if you're even questioning if you have exercise addiction, then you probably do. People who have a healthy relationship with exercise aren't questioning if they do or not. Another question I got asked a lot was, have you gained weight since stopping your exercise addiction or cutting back on your exercise? Yes, but it was weight I wasn't meant to lose. It was my natural set point, and doing all the exercise was just kind of prolonging me eventually getting there. Like, you're going to get to your set point someday, so just doing all the exercise to get away from it is just kind of prolonging it. The sooner you get back in tune with your body and you kind of just let it be, the sooner it's just going to settle and be happy. If you're constantly restricting it and over exercising it and doing all this crazy stuff, it's going to feel horrible, and it's just going to cling to weight and fat even more, because it's just so scared about if it's going to get the nutrients it needs and if it's got enough energy to even burn to do the exercise you're making it do. So yes, I did gain some weight, but like I said, I wasn't meant to lose that weight. It was weight I need, and it honestly hasn't even been noticeable. I just know because I get weighed every week. I haven't seen the scales, but my parents have said it has gone up a bit, because I did ask, because I was concerned at the start and they were reluctant to say anything, but it has gone up a little bit, they said, and I honestly wouldn't have even noticed. I feel like I look pretty similar to then. A lot of the time the exercise you're doing isn't even burning that many calories. I know that might be triggering to say, but like standing and sitting, the difference is so minuscule, it makes absolutely no difference. Okay, I'll just do one more because this is getting long. How did you open up about it? Personally, for me, everyone around me kind of picked up on it and started getting worried about it. But if you aren't that close to people, or they aren't really noticing anything, I think just being really honest about it. I would write a letter. I find writing letters so much easier than actually talking to people, because it can be so confronting and you forget what you want to say and you just get muddled up. So just writing everything you want to say out can be really helpful. People in your life love and care about you. They're not going to feel weird or not care if you tell them something like this that's really concerning you. And if they don't care, well, then they obviously don't need to be in your life. If you want, you can always DM me or anybody else in the recovery community. A lot of them are always so willing to talk and chat, and that can be a really safe and great community and space to be on. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the video. I'm sorry it's a little long. Hopefully this has helped somebody, and I love you all so much. Have a great day. Mwah.